Okay, just a little overview of what's going on in the garden this week. I've got all kinds of little baby cucumbers coming up on the cucumber plants. Some of them will be ready to pick before long. Almost all of the tomato plants have tomatoes coming up on them. The cabbages are coming along up there. Even though the bugs are eating them, they're still growing pretty good. The corn is getting taller by the day. We've had a lot of rain the past few days, so the garden has really been getting busy. The beans are getting taller, but no beans on those yet. The cauliflower is getting taller and taller, but I haven't really seen any. Oh, look at there. Little baby cauliflower starting to form in there. That's exciting. I harvested the largest broccoli that I had, I harvested it yesterday. These peppers, I just plucked off a pepper that had bottom end rot, which is frustrating. These beans are kind of slow starting off, but they're doing okay. Hey, look at this Brussels sprout. He's really getting on with it. So is that one. The eggplants are really starting to get busy. The onions are standing at attention, but they don't really seem to be getting any bigger, but maybe they're getting bigger down below where I can see, but the tops of them don't look like they're getting very big. These cabbages are really starting to come along. The spaghetti squash is doing wonderful. That watermelon is not doing so good. And the little pepper plant there has got blooms all over it. The beans that are out on the trellis wall are really starting to climb. And there is one bean on that whole row. I'm just going to let it get big enough to seed and get the seeds from it. This broccoli is taken off too. Here's the size of it compared to my hand. And this is the one that I harvested the big broccoli head from yesterday. And supposedly it will have some side shoots if you leave it alone. That one's got a broccoli. Don't see a broccoli in that one. That one's got a little one. That one's got a little tiny one. This one's starting to get pretty good size. If we can just keep them from bolting. And that one's starting to get pretty good size. It's not as dark green as I would like to see it. The squash is really getting busy. Look at those beautiful flowers. And there's also some little fruits starting to come along. None are ready to pick today. This one has a zucchini that should be ready to pick before much longer. The carrots just kind of seem to be staying the same. Hopefully they're growing underground like they're supposed to be. These are aphids that are all over my leaves, and I am tired of them. And don't know what to do about them. I've sprayed them. I have took tape and physically removed them. I don't know what else to do with them, but I know that I'm tired of them. This is my little spaghetti squash that I've got growing at the end of the garden here. There's just a little quick view of the garden and the beans. Over here in my little fenced-in area, things are really starting to blossom. These are my snackable reds, and I see one coming on right there. Actually, two. Look at that. And they're supposed to be small. They're not going to be very big. Gosh. Look at that sweet potato vine. It is really getting busy. And I hope that it produces a lot down in that bucket. And I hope my bucket's not too small. It's another cucumber plant that I've really had a hard time keeping the aphids off of. Another pepper plant. This is jalapenos or serranos. Let's see. Serranos. They do not have any peppers yet, but lots of blooms. Cucumbers that have not been planted. Strawberries still producing. Beans. These are all bush style beans, different kinds. They're doing very well. These tomatoes have had blooms on them for a while. I probably need to tie that up a little bit better. These are my jalapenos that I'm just a little disappointed in. They're really tall and not very many blooms. This is another tomato plant. This is the Carolina Gold. These are the beans that are growing up the fence wall. And they have a couple on it here that I will probably pick today. I think they might be ready. I've got several on here. These little tiny guys are my ground cherries. And this little raised bed. And these pots are really loving all the rain. I'm gonna have to move this over closer to the trellis because that thing's getting ready to climb. It's got a cucumber. Well, I think all of these are cucumbers in this pot. And all of these are tomatoes. So I'm gonna scoot those over to the side and put those under the trellis. Here's the watermelon plant. Again, let me back up, get a better view. This has got watermelon plants, a cantaloupe, and a spaghetti squash in here. And it did have a couple little watermelons on it. You can see right there, a little tiny one. But every time that I think it's going to grow some, they disappear. I see another one over there. So I don't know where they go. I don't know if something's eating them off or if they're not getting pollinated and falling off. I don't know what's going on. Really trying to keep it growing up the trellis, training it to go up, but it's kind of everywhere. And this spaghetti squash did have, yeah, it's got a little squash growing there, right there. That's the only one I see. And it's really overtaken this cantaloupe. So I'll probably have to come back here and do some trimming today. And some of that has really chewed up the leaves. Daggone it. I get tired of fighting the bugs. It's so irritating. The bugs and the worms and everything. It gets aggravating. Alright, that's it for today. This is, wait a minute, let's see what today is. June 20th. Today's June 20th.